If you're listening today and you're tired, not just physically tired, but emotionally tired, I want you to know you're not alone. Some of the most common things that families say to me go something like this. We promised we'd keep mom at home. We said we'd never move our parents. I feel like I've failed. And underneath all of that is one big fear. If we move to senior living, if we bring in help, is it permanent? Because once you cross that line, it can feel like there's no going back. And that can feel exhausting. But here's what I want you to hear right from the start. A move or outside help does not have to be a permanent decision. For many families, it actually means buying time. And buying time is often the smartest, kindest, and most loving first step, not a failure. I'm your host, Valerie Lynn, and this is how you can go from desperate to doable. Welcome to Desperately Seeking Senior Living, a podcast for sons, daughters, grandkids, and spouses, and all caregivers who suddenly find themselves tangled in the search for senior living and care. If you like today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and check out our doable download in today's show notes for a printable summary of the show and a bonus tip. Hi, and welcome to the show. I want to get started with the path that most families are already on, because this journey, it doesn't usually start with a move. It usually starts with noticing changes, some of the things that we talked about in my last episode. Then you step in a little bit more. Then you might bring in some other help. Maybe it's friends, maybe it's other family members. Then you're adding hours, juggling schedules, costs, and coverage, and eventually something still isn't working. Families tell me our whole family is taking turns. Just keeping up with the text thread is exhausting. Or we tried in home care, but it wasn't enough. Or mom does not want strangers in her house. Or we can't afford 24/7 in home care. Or I love this one, and this has actually happened more than once. Dad refused to open the door for the caregivers. Or I'm doing everything I can and it still doesn't feel safe. But here's the truth. Needing more support does not mean you broke a promise. It means the situation changed. So I want you to ask yourself this. Was the promise about a house, or was the promise safety, dignity, and care? And okay, I hear some of you out there saying, no, really, it's about the house. I have actually helped families whose dad was the architect who designed and built the home that he had lived in with his wife and family for over 60 years. So I get it. Sometimes it is about the house. And there may be creative ways to keep that house, but that's an episode for another time. Okay. And so, what does buying time actually look like? What are we really talking about? Well, it can look like a few different things: respite care, a short term community stay, which can mean respite care or can even mean a little bit longer, a skilled nursing stay after a hospital visit. And on a side note, this option has to be doctor ordered, but it can give you time, or even a decision to reassess in a few months. This is not giving up, it's information gathering. You're learning. You're learning how much care is actually needed, whether consistency improves safety or cognition. What happens when caregivers aren't burnt out, when you're not burnt out, and whether in home care could realistically work again or not. Buying time allows you clarity to show up without panic. And buying time, it isn't just for you, it's also language your loved one can hear. When families frame a decision as permanent, loved ones often hear, I'm losing my home, I have no control. But when you frame it as temporary, the conversation changes. You might say, this is just for now, or we're trying to see what helps you feel better, or we're going to reassess this together. This temporary language reduces fear, it preserves dignity, and it keeps the door open emotionally and practically. So, what should you look for during a temporary stay? Families very often ask themselves, did mom like the community during her stay? It's even something that you might hear from the community itself. Oh, we feel like your mom really liked it here. And yes, liking it matters. It matters a lot, but it's not the whole picture. Here are some other important patterns you should be looking for. Did your mom sleep better? Did she have fewer falls or fewer close calls? Improved medication management. Are you noticing changes because she's actually taking her medication at the right time? Are you seeing calmer days and more predictable routines? And pay attention to yourself too. How does it feel to sleep through the night and to not worry about your mom or dad, to not be on constant alert? Because sometimes the biggest change isn't in your loved one, it's in you, the caregiver. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I find the right respite? And that is an important conversation. It's what I help families with all the time, and it deserves its own episode. So for today, I want you to hear this first. You are allowed to pause, you are allowed to reassess, and you are allowed to change the plan. I recently worked with a family where the wife is the caregiver. And just this first step, even though it was a respite, was incredibly difficult for her. But she found a great place, a place that she feels confident and comfortable in for her husband to stay so that she can take the vacation. It's a vacation they plan together. This is incredibly difficult. This is a tough time, a tough decision for everyone. And if you're feeling uncertain right now, I hope this gives you permission to breathe. Permission, like my many families that I've worked with, to take that break. Because you don't have to decide forever today. And you also don't have to prove your love through exhaustion. Buying time is often how clarity shows up. And clarity is what helps us make decisions we can actually live with, not just survive. And that's how we make this doable. If you're listening today and you're wondering what your next step should be, whether that's in home care, respite, or simply understanding all your options, you don't have to figure that out alone. You can learn more about working with me or book a conversation at clearpathsls.com. That's clearpathsls.com. Thank you for listening in, because sometimes the most helpful thing isn't making a decision, it's having someone help you slow the moment down. Take care of you, because you matter too. And hopefully, this episode helps make your journey a little more doable. You're listening to our doable tips, short answers to your questions. Don't see your question listed? Send us a note. Then don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an answer. Today's episode is brought to you by ClearPath Senior Living Solutions. ClearPath helps families find assisted living, memory care, and other resources. Find our contact information in today's show notes. Check out this episode's doable download in show notes for details, including industry terms and definitions we discussed, as well as a bonus tip from our guest. Have questions or your own tips to share? Leave us a message. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, make it doable.